And welcome to WSA TV. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host and producer, and we are in the 10th anniversary celebration year of Women Speakers Association. And today I'm super excited because we're going to talk about, with the one and only Charmaine Hammond, how to generate more revenue from your book and really create a business out of it. So I'm going to stop sharing and hi, Charmaine.
Hi, and how fun, the 10-year celebration. Yay.
It's really a milestone and a breakthrough because now
Yeah.
women are at the forefront of leadership more and more.
Mhm.
We're fighting, we're taking a stand for changing the world in a better way. And we just like to celebrate that here. And I
Yeah.
know what you do is so impactful for women. You've been so influential in the Women Speakers Association. I want to thank you for your
Mm,
years of collaboration. And that's the whole model we
yeah.
work with here. And there's nothing like it. You're an expert in sponsorship, in selling books, and really helping people to monetize their message.
Mm.
And I am so looking forward to more and more of your wisdom. So tell us a little bit more about your background expertise and the results you get for people.
Well, I've been speaking for a long time, 25 years. It's my core business. And my first book came on the heels of being published in Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I wrote a little chapter, and that who knew that that would inspire five of my own books that are traditionally published, a self published book, and being in eight collaborative books. Several of those through WSA Publishing, the Voices of the 21st Century. And in the years that since Chicken Soup for the Soul in 2009, boy, oh boy, have I learned a lot. A lot of what doesn't work and where I have spent time, energy, and money and would never do things again that way. And better yet, though, all the lessons I've learned around what does work and what ideas I've tested that brought great results. So I've worked not only on my own books, but through my company, Raise a Dream, we work with authors and speakers as well to help them make their book a business. And of course, we partner with WSA Publishing on the Your Book as a Business program. So I get the opportunity to see the incredible work that speakers are doing to generate more revenue through their book. And believe me, there are so many ways you can do that.
And I know you're going to be talking about several of those ways next week. We have your
Yeah.
speaker success training coming up on February 10th at 1 o'clock Pacific. If those of you who want to learn how to monetize and get more revenue from your book, you want to attend this training. And I know you can find it at speakersuccesstraining.com. If you're not a member, all members get this training for free. And if you are a member and you're wondering how to get the Zoom link, go to the email that was sent to you earlier this week on Monday about how to get more revenue from your book. And you'll find that, or you can log into the member area. So anyone can attend this. If you're a member, it's free. And if you're not, go to speakersuccesstraining.com and you can buy it. It's really, really, you're going to get more than a $24.95 value, don't you think?
Yes, you
So,
definitely will.
so let's talk about that. What is the
Okay.
value? What advice are you going to cover
Yeah.
about creating revenue with your book?
Well, Laura, you and I were talking offline before we started to go live today about how many opportunities exist right now in the time that we have in being remote, working remotely, events not happening. So this has impacted a lot of businesses. It's also, as you said, Laura, created incredible opportunities. And if you're willing to be creative and innovative and even collaborate with people, the opportunities are even greater. So some of the things I'm going to be talking about that will help you generate more revenue for your book are things like, are you selling your books in bulk? Are you selling your books in bulk related to online programs? Are you including your books in some of the online courses that you might be teaching? For example, with a webinar, are you including copies of your book as part of the fee to join a paid webinar? So there are so many opportunities where the speaking can help you promote your book. We're also going to talk about how do you find partners, businesses, brands, companies, organizations that their audience would resonate with your book and your speaking message, how do you get them to buy those books in bulk, by the box or the trunk load? Lori, you've heard me say it before. I learned, my husband is he's in the engineering world, so he loves numbers. And he pointed out for me one day, this was probably about year 2 of having my book, and he said, Shar, it seems like it takes as much energy, time, and resources to sell 10 books at once as it does to sell 10 individual books. So why don't you just focus on selling 10 at a time? And I thought, oh, that's good.
And maybe
And
it
then
takes even less, like
yeah,
it takes
it's
less
way
time to
less.
send 10 books in bulk than it does to spend 10 individual books. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I love so many ideas I've gotten from you over the years. And in this training, I know it's not the first time you've done it, about how to monetize the book and how to really make it amplify one's own business.
Sure.
And so many people out there their books are just sitting there and they're not doing them any good. And
Yeah.
do you see that all the time?
I do. I've had authors tell me the creative ways that they've used boxes full of books to become furniture, throw a tablecloth over it. So we don't want that for you. We want you selling your books, because here's what I know right now: people are consuming content. You know this. People are consuming content through podcasts, through books, through ebooks, through Netflix right now. Why not have them consume your message, your book? And so, if you can think about the many ways to create wraparound products, this is really important as speakers. When you have a book, when you can create a multitude of wraparound products for your book. For example, you might have a book and then you also create the companion journal or the activity book. I had somebody once who had a wellness book. They were telling me about they have a wellness book, and she has 5 or 6 recipes. I remember one of them was a chai latte because I was very intrigued with that. But she has all these recipes that she uses that help her stay resilient. So she was going to create like a little companion recipe book with her 10 favorite recipes. So her book was going to spin off other products that would then help her also promote not only the book, but her speaking. So there's so many opportunities to create wraparound products, wraparound services, but there's also the ability to sell your book in very different ways right now through the virtual platforms you might be participating on. So if you're doing more podcasts or maybe speaking at live but online events, lots of different ways that you can sell your book in those formats. And we're going to be talking about that on the 10th.
And speaking of those two things, podcasts and virtual events, having a book, isn't it a great way to get more of those opportunities? Are you going to be talking about that too?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great way to get more speaking, a great way to sell more books. It's a great way to get more media, to build your platform, both as a speaker and an author. And the other thing that it helps you do in terms of influence building, I'm seeing that people who are really doing this right, and I've experienced this myself as well, they're getting invited to be not only on other stages, but to participate in other collaborations that have opportunities for their book to get in front of people. So I just see right now we're actually living in a world where there's a lot of opportunities, and it's going to challenge us to do business a little bit differently, but the opportunities are there. And we're going to talk about what are they right now? How can you get started right away?
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I love that. And I love the ability to get more of what we do in our business, more clients, more speaking gigs, and more revenue. So I guess this could have been titled, how to get more revenue and, more and create more influence.
Yeah.
And so again, for those of you just joining us, Charmaine's going to do a whole training through the Women Speakers Association Speaker Success Training next Wednesday at 1:00 Pacific, 4:00 Eastern. All you need to do, if you are a member, guess what? This of Women Speakers Association, this comes with your membership. So look for that email or log into the back end. And if you're not a member, we'd love for you to join the training, first of all, or you can join Women Speakers Association and get it for free. But all you have to do is go to speakersuccesstraining.com, and then you'll be able to sign up for this training, which is going to be so robust. I mean, you already gave us so much food for thought. And now I know you're going to give us the how-tos. Is that right? Is there a different,
Yeah.
what else are you going to go through?
Absolutely, Laura. We're going to talk about some of those how-tos and how you can leverage what you already have. I don't know about you, but as an entrepreneur, I love creating things. but we already have things created. So how can you actually leverage what you've already got? So you're not spending time, money, energy creating new things all the time, but really putting what you have into a much bigger format. So for example, selling your books to libraries and specialty shops. We'll talk a little bit about sponsorship, because sponsorship is a great way for speakers and authors to generate revenue, and that's going to be the topic of this webinar. The other thing that I wanted to mention, Laura, around what we're going to be doing, talking about some of the how-tos, I'm going to cover a few of the mistakes that I'm seeing authors make that are where they're missing opportunities and how you could turn that into a success. And of course, we'll have the opportunity to handle some questions that come in through the chat. So I hope that people will bring those questions forward. And we'll also talk about, what are 3 things that you could do right after the training call? Because you and I, Laura, we've been entrepreneurs for a long time. There's so many very, very, very seasoned members in WSA who've been speaking forever. And so what can you do? Just 3 things to put this into action right away so you start seeing results.
I love the idea of being able to have something actionable to do, because so many times we get so excited after going, even in person or on Zoom, but you're left with overwhelm versus an action, the step-by-step action list. So thank you for doing that and being able to take questions on top of that. So if you have specific questions for Charmaine, get on this training. Again, it's at speakersuccesstraining.com, or it's in your inbox if you're a member. Thank you so much, Charmaine. This has been fun to collaborate with you here. And I love that you started out, your very first foray into writing and being an author was through a collaborative book.
Exactly.
Like they are magic. And, you've been a multiple time best-selling author, and we're looking forward to the next book of Voices of the 21st Century coming out on February 23rd. We'll be back here for everyone, kind of announcing that with all our authors, and we'll be helping them monetize it. So
yay.
Thanks for your leadership and guidance on this. We'll be back with you next time. Bye.
See you on the 10th.